You said that you were on your way to a report of a stolen vehicle. Do I have that right?
That is correct.
Is that an emergent situation?
It is not an emergency situation. It's a situation where we're going to get there. We want to get the suspect.
You're saying this was not an emergent situation, so why were you traveling 60 to 65 miles per hour in a 30-mile-per-hour zone?
You're absolutely right. I was trying to get there as fast as I could.
And you were driving as fast as you could in that zone while operating a cell phone, right?
Absolutely. And I get where you're going with this, and you're absolutely right. That is part of my job, what I do, and accidents do occur. Like I said, I'm not saying that I didn't do anything wrong. However, it was an accident.
You're saying you not saying you didn't do anything wrong, so you're saying you did something wrong. Are you saying you did something wrong?
On a July afternoon in 2023 on South 2nd Avenue in Dallas, Texas, a marked Dallas Police Department squad car driven by Officer Jonathan Perez Change slammed into the rear of a stopped vehicle at 60 to 65 miles per hour in a posted 30-mile-per-hour zone, injuring a woman named Sandy Gannum who was a passenger in that vehicle. No lights were on, no sirens were running, no emergency had been declared. What you are watching right now is Perez Change's civil deposition, sworn testimony taken under oath as part of a lawsuit filed on behalf of Sandy Gannum, conducted by plaintiff's attorney Rich Hyde. And every word this officer speaks here carries the full legal weight of testimony that a jury will eventually hear. By the time this deposition ends, you are going to watch this officer confirm that he was operating a vehicle at twice the legal speed limit without authorization, that he removed his own seatbelt to retrieve a dropped phone in the moments before impact, and that when a responding officer asked him 3 separate times whether he was wearing that seatbelt, he said yes every single time, until the body cam footage made that answer impossible to hold on to.
You're an officer of Dallas Police Department?
Correct.
You said that you were on your way to a report of a stolen vehicle. Do I have that right?
That is correct.
Is that an emergent situation?
It is not an emergency situation. It's a situation where we're going to get there. We want to get the suspect. We want to actually get someone's property back.
The road that this wreck happened on, remind me what it was?
2nd Avenue?
2nd Avenue. And 2nd Avenue is a 30-mile-per-hour zone, correct?
That is correct.
You're saying this was not an emergent situation, so why were you traveling 60 to 65 miles per hour in a 30-mile-per-hour zone?
You're absolutely right. I was trying to get there as fast as I could.
You were trying to go there to a non-emergency situation as fast as you could, and you were driving as fast as you could in that zone while operating a cell phone, right?
Absolutely. And I get where you're going with this, and you're absolutely right. That is part of my job, what I do, and accidents do occur. Like I said, I'm not saying that I didn't do anything wrong. However, it was an accident.
You're saying you not saying you didn't do anything wrong, so you're saying you did something wrong. Are you saying you did something wrong?
I didn't do anything, not that I think I did.
Okay.
I'm on the phone communicating with my team. It's part of the job. It's the same thing as being on the radio, communicating with dispatch. I'm trying to get there. You know, it happens every time. There's a flock here. We want to get there as fast as we can, as safely as we can. And in this instance, there was an accident.
Do you think you did anything wrong that night?
Going over the speed limit, I take full responsibility.
But you said that this is part of your job, what you were doing that night, that moment.
Part of my job is communicating with my team. So whether it be on the radio, whether it be through Zelle, we have phones with an application that we communicate with each other.
When you say that you did something wrong, going over the speed limit,
Correct.
You don't think that you were acting reasonably when you were going over the speed limit, do you?
Objection. You can go ahead and answer.
I was going at the same speed rate that the cars around me were going. So it would be reasonable to be going at that speed.
Your testimony is that the other cars on that street at that time were all going over 2 times the speed limit.
That is correct.
And you're telling me that if everybody else is doing it, that's okay for you to do it.
So that's what we as officers tell other people, that as long as everybody's going at the same speed, which should be a reasonable speed, we're not talking about 85, 90, 100 miles an hour, you should try to keep up.
You're telling me if you saw a civilian driving a civilian vehicle at a speed in excess of 2 times the posted speed limit, that you would sit there and say, that's reasonable, that's okay, I'm going to let that go.
Once again, what is reasonable for me was that I was trying to catch up. I was trying to get a suspect with a stolen vehicle.
So it was an emergency situation.
It was not an emergency situation.
And it's not an emergency situation, certainly, because you didn't have your sirens going at the time of the impact, did you?
That is correct.
You didn't have your light bar activated, did you?
That is correct.
So it wasn't an emergency situation. You're driving 2 times the posted speed limit, and you're telling me that you think this was all reasonable.
Objection. You can answer.
I do.
So you don't think that you should be held responsible, or that the city should be held responsible at all for what happened to Sandy Gannum?
So if you ask me personally, once again, if the person in front of me is going at the same speed that I am, and it just comes to a complete stop without putting a signal to turn left, yes, I consider myself as reasonable. And if the person in front of me comes to a complete stop, once again, it's an accident that does occur, and it occurs on a daily basis.
As the deposition moves into its most consequential territory, Attorney Rich Hyde begins establishing what becomes the legal and factual spine of this entire case. Under Texas Transportation Code Section 546.001, a law enforcement officer is only authorized to disregard posted speed limits when responding to an emergency call with both audible and visual warning devices actively operating. Perez Change had neither. He confirms this himself under oath. No lights, no sirens, no emergency designation. His own training, which he also confirms on the record, explicitly prohibited driving at double the speed limit under exactly these conditions. When Hyde presses him on whether his conduct was reasonable, Perez Change argues that surrounding vehicles were traveling at a similar speed, which made his speed reasonable by comparison. Hyde then asks him, without flinching, whether he would extend that same logic to a civilian he pulled over for the same behavior. The officer has no coherent answer. What Hyde is doing here is a precise and deliberate technique, using the officer's own standard for civilians to measure his conduct against, and the gap between those two standards is where the liability lives.
You went through some training to be a police officer.
Yes, sir.
If you don't have your sirens going, are you allowed to drive 2 times the speed limit?
No, sir.
Okay, so you did that wrong.
Yes, sir.
Similar question. If you don't have your light bars activated, are you allowed to drive 2 times the legal speed limit?
No, sir.
So you did that wrong, right?
That is correct, sir.
And did you, when you were trained to be a police officer, did they train you to use your cell phone while operating a vehicle?
No. Not when you're going in a non-emergency call to do an emergency call. No, you're not supposed to be on your phone.
Is there any situation where you are allowed to drive?
Not at 2 times the speed limit, sir.
Then comes the phone, and this is where the deposition shifts from uncomfortable to damaging. Perez Chenji's account is that he was using the Zello push-to-talk app to communicate with his team immediately before the crash, a work-related explanation that frames the phone use as part of his duties. But when Hyde plays body cam footage captured at the scene, what appears on the screen when the phone is opened is not Zello. It is a text message thread. Perez Chenji offers multiple explanations, including that iPhones are sensitive and apps can shift accidentally, and that he may have swiped to messages without realizing it. Hyde notes, calmly, that iPhones open to the last app used when unlocked, and that a jury is going to understand exactly how that works. Later in the footage, Perez Chenji acknowledges he cannot identify the contact in that thread, cannot explain the avatar on screen, and admits he may have sent a text after the crash before leaving the scene. The last visible content in that thread is a string of laughing emojis. The crash report compiled by the investigating officer tells the rest of the story. The victim's brake lights were fully illuminated for 13 seconds before impact. For 6 of those 13 seconds, Perez Chenji had zero braking input while traveling at 60 to 65 miles per hour, covering a minimum of 527 feet without once touching his brakes. The investigating officer concluded that the absence of a turn signal from the victim's vehicle was, given the officer's speed and inattention, not applicable to the cause of this crash.
All right, Jonathan, I'm showing on that screen what I've marked as plaintiff's deposition exhibit number 8. Now, this is a clip from much bigger footage that was produced in the litigation. Rather than go through 30 minutes of dash cam and body cam footage, I've clipped it out. And I'll represent to you that what we're seeing here is the first time I'm seeing your cell phone, if not the only time I see your cell phone on that body cam footage. This is your body cam.
Mhm.
Earlier you testified that the last thing you were doing on your phone was using this Zello app to communicate with the rest of your Dallas PD team. Is that right?
Correct.
All right, so we're going to watch exhibit number 8.
I was gonna go, but then right off, but I head over there and channel 7 called.
That's your phone, is it not?
That is correct.
So I paused the video.
Mhm.
I've paused exhibit number 8 at timestamp 15. Well, it's not the timestamp on the Axon footage, but it is the timestamp of this particular clip of it.
Mhm.
And I'm going to rewind it back to timestamp 13. So the 13 seconds into exhibit number 8. And you are opening your phone. Accurate?
That is correct.
I've now scrubbed forward a half second. So we're still at timestamp number 13.
Mhm.
And the first thing we see when you open that phone is what appears to be a text message or text message conversation. Do I have that accurate?
That is correct.
So the last thing that you were doing on your phone was this text message.
And no, why it's on right there, I have no idea. You have a phone? Do you have an iPhone? There's all of these different apps and all these different things that you use, and they open up. And there's times when you open, not when you unlock it, when you grab your phone by accident, you touch it with your fat finger, and they all open up, and they can either move from right to left, and they can change depending on what it is.
I know how an iPhone works,
Mhm.
and presumably it's a popular phone. A jury is going to know how an iPhone works.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
you're disagreeing with me that when you open your iPhone, it opens to, you're saying it does not open up to the last
So-
app you use.
Do you have footage before this? Because I had already grabbed my phone before that.
So this text message chain here that we're seeing, your contention is that you, prior to seeing it in this clip, you had already moved from your Zelle app and you were texting after the wreck. That's why this is showing up first, is because you texted after the wreck happened.
No, I'm not saying I texted after. What I did say was I was on my Zello. Dropped my Zello. I picked it up. Once again, throughout this whole movement, what I could have done, and again, I know I'm under oath, I could have moved it from left to right, and it ended up on that screen right there.
Did you send any text messages after the wreck?
I could have. I had a lot of people calling me. I had a lot of my friends calling me regarding the accident.
Who's this text message?
I have no idea. You would have to zoom in so I can see it, so I can see the name.
Okay. I see there I'll wave my cursor over it. It looks like, what do we call those?
It's an emoji. It's a
Avatar is what
it's
it
an
is.
avatar. Yes.
Whose avatar is that?
No, I have no
You
idea.
have no idea.
I would have to go and look into my text messages.
And this is a picture of what exactly? No idea. You don't remember this conversation whatsoever.
Sir, this, as you can see, it was back in 2023.
You don't know anybody who uses those avatars that look like that?
A lot of women use an avatar. They can, yes.
And you text the women that use avatars?
A lot of,
Objection.
I know where you're trying to go with this. And again, I have nothing to hide. Yes, I do. I have a lot of friends. I have cousins. I have my sister. I have aunts. Yes, we do. We text.
So if we're to take your story as the truth, following the wreck, you switched apps to this text message, and the last text you sent was a string of laughing emojis. Accurate?
Looking at that, yes. No, I did not text it. You said open it up. Was it there? Yes, it's there. It's on body cam. What I'm saying is, what was the last thing I was doing? I was on Zello. I was going to that call. It fell down. I picked it up. Now, once again, could have picked it up. With everything going on, I'm going left and right. Everybody's calling me. You know that when it's so sensitive, when you pick it up, when you touch that screen, it goes up, it changes either from left to right. Could have dropped it on my.
If we were to obtain your cell records, there's no chance that you're wrong about this.
Could have texted way before. But once again,
There's no chance that you texted after the wreck, before you left the scene.
after the wreck,
After the wreck and before you left the scene of the wreck.
I could have texted someone. Yes,
You could
Like
have
I
texted
said,
this person.
I don't remember that person. I have to see who it is. I can't even see the name. Those are text messages from 2023, July. I have no idea who that is. If I go back to that specific date, yes, I might be able to see who it is. I have no idea who it is.
But you'd be able to do that, right?
I would be able to do it, yes.
After this wreck happened, were you reprimanded by the city of Dallas?
Oh, yes, I was. I was giving a, not only did they give me points, which is, I think that there's a point system. I don't think it's 3 or 4 points. You get into a non-driving status, but they also gave me, I think it's like a white copy where you basically, you did something wrong and you have to sign it, which I did.
Okay, so earlier when you said this is just kind of part of your job, what you were doing that night, city of Dallas they don't agree with you on that.
Once again, I'm not expecting, you're doing a great job. And like I said, I take full responsibility for going over the speed limit, and I totally get it. And once again, I don't expect you to know my job or how I feel about my job when going to a certain call. Yes, there's policy. Yes, there's rules. Once again, I'm very passionate about getting people's property back. And if I feel there's a stolen vehicle and there's a suspect, I don't know what that suspect has done, whether he has a homicide warrant, whether he has any other type of warrant. Yes, I want to get there. It is my passion. I want to get that bad guy off the street. Okay. Was I going over the speed limit? I take full responsibility for it. Yes. Yes, I did. Was I on my phone communicating with my team? Yes. That's what we do. I don't expect you, once again, with all due respect, to understand how I feel and how I do my job. But once again, it's not black and white like you assume.
Not black and white, I assume. This wreck is not black and white.
Once again, no. Again, it was an accident.
Driving 60 to 65 miles per hour in a 30 mile per hour zone without your light bar on, without your sirens on, that's not black and white.
Once again,
Objection. You can answer.
I take full responsibility for what I did. Full responsibility.
So full responsibility for Sandy Gannum's damages?
Once again, I'm going to a call where I know that I should be with my team. Now, one thing that you should know about that call, most of my team, we had already taken someone into custody. They were not there. So there's a covert person in that area. Now, I don't know whether my covert vehicle, my officer is going to be by himself and he's going to be in trouble. So yes, I'm trying to go fast. I'm trying to get there quickly so nothing happens to the rest of my team that's on the streets.
So full responsibility for Sandy Gannum's damages?
Objection. You can answer.
I take full responsibility for going over the speed limit, sir.
What does that mean? Okay, so what does that mean? What does full responsibility entail?
I was wrong in going over the speed limit as I'm trying to get there to a stolen vehicle.
Does it
What
end
does it
there?
entail? I take full responsibility for going over the speed limit.
As a cop, you understand the concept of consequences probably better than anyone, right?
Absolutely, sir.
And you understand it's not just enough to say, I did something wrong when something is of a nature that causes harm. So, what does full responsibility mean?
Like I said, I take full responsibility in going over the speed limit, trying to get there, trying to capture, trying to detain a suspect and get somebody's property back. Now, do accidents happen? As you've seen, they do happen. And unfortunately, it happened to me.
Negligence causes accidents, does it not?
It does, sir. It does, sir.
So accidents happen, sure, but accidents happen when someone acts unreasonably.
Accidents happen, whether you're reasonable or unreasonable, are accidents, sir.
Objection, non-responsive. Let me get to that full responsibility thing one more time, because I keep on hearing full responsibility, but I don't know what you're taking responsibility for or what it encapsulates. We get that you know you shouldn't be driving that speed in that zone, especially not without any sort of alarming device on, but the consequence of that conduct, do you take responsibility for making that consequence right?
Objection. It's a compound question.
Do you take responsibility for the damages that your conduct caused?
I take full responsibility for going over the speed limit. There was an accident. Now, if the accident, if somebody got hurt, it is part of taking responsibility for it.
Thank you. All right, you talked about white copy. You received white copy.
I signed paperwork. I got reprimanded by my leadership, sir. I had to talk with my LT, my lieutenant, and my sergeant.
You were reprimanded by your leadership. Who does that all entail?
That was I'm sorry, sir. I've been through about 4 sergeants within the last year.
Go ahead and go through all of them.
There was Sergeant Lumley, Sergeant Olegario, and Sergeant Parker.
Which one do you think it was at that time?
Sergeant Lumley.
But you don't remember being reprimanded? You don't remember which one of those reprimanded you?
I don't, sir. Honestly, when I come to work, I don't even, just straight up, don't even remember half of my cases. Sometimes when I have to go, why? I want to forget about everything that happened at work. I want to live a normal life. When I have to go to, I literally go to RMS, I click on the case number, I read it just so I can get a refresher, so I can remember. I go to my body cam, I'm like, okay, this is what happened. Okay,
This is a little
all right.
different, though. This
Yes.
is you are personally involved, and you're telling me you don't really remember,
That is correct, sir.
so you blocked it out.
Yes, sir.
It must not have been, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it must not have been a very serious reprimand. Accurate in saying that?
No, it was serious for the simple fact that I had to face the consequences of, first of all, I couldn't drive for a moment. I had my points taken away. I had to drive with someone for quite some time, which to me, I get car sick, I get nauseous. So yes, it was pretty big for me. I don't like being the passenger.
So the city of Dallas, as part of this reprimand or punishment, they said you're no longer allowed to drive a squad car.
For a period of time, sir.
How long was that period?
I don't remember, sir.
You don't remember how long you weren't allowed to drive?
No, sir.
So you're telling me that you hated it. You get car sick easy when you have to ride in the passenger seat, and you don't remember how long this was?
No, sir.
Approximate for me.
I don't, 2 months, a month and a half.
2 months?
I don't remember, sir.
It could not have been 6 months.
I don't think so, sir.
So it could.
When you're into, I think you get either 6 months or a year once you hit your 4 points. If you hit your 4 points. With this one, if I'm not mistaken, I was at 3 points, which I was a point away. That's why for about a couple months, they took me off the streets, meaning that I was a passenger. So I want to hit that 4-point mark.
So as of the date of this wreck, you had already had 2 points?
No, so that's what I'm saying. They reprimanded because it was a serious matter. Yes, you are right. Meaning they gave me 3 points.
3 out of 4. 4, you're out, right?
Yes, sir. Correct.
So we could think of it as a scale, a naughty scale. And
Right.
you got 3 out of 4, 4 being the worst.
Yes, correct, sir.
So they did not like this.
They did not like it, sir.
And are you on any sort of probationary period with Dallas PD?
I'm off. I'm out. I'm off probation, sir.
Is there any way you can get points taken away for good behavior or?
So every 2 or 2.5 years, it resets.
So you can do something really serious, get 3 out of 4 points, and as long as you don't hit that 4th point, it'll reset after 2 years.
That is correct, sir. From my understanding, it's been like that. Yes, sir.
Detail any explanation on the points. Why did you get 3? What was, aside from the fact that you rear-ended someone, what else did they say you did wrong? Aside from the fact that you were speeding, what else did they say you did wrong?
An A&I officer came, asked for my statement. They looked at the damage. They took pictures. They took video. Again, I had paperwork to sign. I signed it. And you would have to go ahead and ask for a copy of that paperwork.
You don't remember what all they told you did wrong?
Going over the speed limit was one. Yes, sir.
Was one, but my question was what else?
I don't remember, sir.
You don't remember?
No, sir.
You're 1 point away from losing your badge. You don't remember what they told you did
I'm
wrong?
1 point away from losing my badge. I'm not going to put any more stress on myself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to my sergeant, listen to my lieutenant. I'm going to take my consequence, take the punishment, take the consequence, and wait for my turn. Wait for my turn to come back.
This happened, I know you said you couldn't remember the day that it happened, but looks like the timestamp on this video here in exhibit number 8, timestamp, the Axon timestamp says July 21st, 2023. Does that sound like the date that this wreck happened?
It's saying July 20. These cameras are pretty good, so yes.
So it's been a little under 2 years, well, about 1.5 years since this wreck happened.
Yes, sir.
As we sit here today,
Mhm.
are you allowed to drive a Dallas PD vehicle?
I am, sir.
All right. And so that they gave you a new vehicle after a couple months?
Correct, sir.
Now, on the topic of Axon, I noticed you have an Axon body cam, but you did not have an Axon dash cam inside of your squad car on the night of this accident. Accurate?
No, there was a camera. We have to have a camera on.
But an Axon camera.
I tell you. I can't tell you.
And were you wearing your seatbelt that night?
I was, and I took it off. Why? I had to pick up my, I can't pick up my my phone with my seatbelt on. Took my seatbelt, and that's when the accident happened. And I did get, now that you mentioned it, I got points for that as well, for not having my seatbelt on.
For not having your seatbelt on. Let me play this Exhibit 8 all the way through, just to see if there's anything else we can talk about. I doubt it. So you had one app open at this time. You had the text message app open.
Yes, sir.
And then when you scrolled up, as we see in timestamp number 14, you don't have a bunch of different apps open. You have a text message app open. See that?
Can you want it again?
I can play it through as you, and then you open that app. So let's go back. So timestamp 14 or 0:00:14 through, and then we get to timestamp 16, 2 seconds. That's where we're seeing what apps, or really should I say app, you had open at that time, and it was the text message app, the text message app only. Do I have that correctly?
Again, I clicked on the Zello. I'm not sure where you're going with this.
I'm saying,
But I clicked on Zello. I opened Zello up. What is that supposed to
right.
go?
Well, you said that you were on Zello,
Yes, exactly.
but that was what you were last on. But this is the first time we're seeing the cell phone, and when we open the phone, all we see are text messages.
Once again, I'm not sure where we're going with this. I open up Zello. I'm not understanding, sir.
Let's ask about, I'm assuming that this is Zello here.
That is Zello. That's yes.
Okay, so that little orange icon.
So as you can see, like for example, right there, this is what I'm trying to see, that it's very sensitive and a lot of things happen. That little button that you see, that's not the little button that was supposed to be there. All right. There's a huge button, and that's the reason why we have it, because it's easy to click. I don't have to be looking for it to click on it, because we have to be communicating back and forth in live time. So that's another thing that it changed. I don't know how. I don't know if it's sensitive what happened, But that screen to Zello, as you can see, there's an X. It goes back, and I can bring my city cell, and I can show you. There's a big button. If somebody can download Zello, I can show you how it works. But that's not the little button that I was using.
Objection non-responsive. I'm just asking if that is the Zello app there where I'm waving my cursor at timestamp 16 on Exhibit A.
That is correct.
Okay, so you open it up
Mhm.
at this time, and that's when you're calling the team about something.
Letting them know what happened. Yes.
All right. Pull up Exhibit number 1. There were a number of different officers from Dallas PD that arrived at the scene that night. And I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but a lot of the body cam footage from those officers has been produced in this litigation. You're aware of that?
Yes, sir.
Have you watched that?
I haven't seen anything, sir.
All right, let's watch a clip from one of the officers' body cams. All right? I'll represent to you that this occurred after the wreck happened, while several officers were there and investigating it. I think that the context will become abundantly clear once I play it. So this is what I am marked as plaintiff's deposition exhibit number 1. Let's go ahead and watch.
Were you driving by yourself? I was driving by myself. All right.
That was you that we just saw?
Yes, sir.
All right, you got your driver's license on you? I actually don't have it. I forgot you.
You did not have your driver's license on you that night?
No, not on me. No.
And you would give somebody a ticket not for driving around without their license, wouldn't you?
Straight up, if you check my records, I have not given anyone for no insurance, yes, but for no license. If they have an ID or anything else to prove who they are, I have not. I don't write tickets for no license.
You are allowed to, though.
I am allowed to, yes, sir.
And they actually train you to cite people for that.
Yes, sir, they didn't.
Where is it at? I should get my own wallet. Do you want me to run myself? No, I mean, I would run you.
What do you mean by, do you want me to run myself?
I'll run myself is basically I put my information in, everything comes out, and my DL number, my driver's license number comes out, and all my DL information is going to be in front of you.
Okay, so that would be what you would do in a situation as a responding officer investigating a car collision. You would do that to the drivers. You would run them.
Yes, correct.
Do you think that's appropriate when you are one of the drivers involved in the accident?
I'm trying to help. And is it appropriate? Once again, it's the situation. I just got in a car wreck. I'm trying to help out, give the information out.
Let's go ahead and play the rest of it.
All right. Okay. So last name Perez on your driver's license? Perez. My full name. Is it dual last name or just Perez? Perez and then check CHENGE. Is it hyphenated just like this? Hyphenated. Okay. And then P at the end. So CHENGE. Okay. First name Jonathan. JONATHAN. No, date of birth 05/15/1988. Okay. And what's that? 725 South Jim Miller. 725, yes. Or North Jim Miller, I forgot. 725 South Jim Miller. All right. What's the zip code on that station? 75217.
Who is this that you're speaking with?
That's the ANI officer.
Do you happen to know his name?
I don't.
What is an ANI officer?
It's accident investigations officer.
Okay. Why is it called ANI?
Is it ANI? I have no idea, sir.
It's all right.
What's up, Kyle? What's the station phone number? 214-670-8345. And so start check. Get back to me sometime tomorrow, whatever. I'll be right with you.
What is that he handed you? What does it look like?
Piece of information with my sheet with my information. I don't. Like I said, sir, I don't remember. Once again, could be a sheet for the drug test. After any accident, you have to go back to this immediately. Back to the after you're done giving your information, your statement. You go back to the substation, and you get drug tested.
Okay, so if someone rear-ended you, if the driver of Sandy Gannum's vehicle had rear-ended you, would still have to go sit for a drug test?
Anybody involved should, yes.
Are you required to if you're rear-ended?
I wouldn't be able to answer that. No,
You don't know?
I don't know, sir.
Let's go ahead and keep playing.
And then I'll get with you after we watch the video and stuff. Okay, hey, so what happened? Okay, there's like a blockade right over here. It's at a document. I'm on route. I might let's go check it out. Okay. and they're getting over here on stops, no signal light, and I try to miss it, and then I hit it. I end up here, I immediately turn my body cam on. Okay. I go on, and I'm like, hey buddy, like what happened? Why'd you stop like that? And he's like, I'm sorry, sir. He's like, I was following my GPS, and they told me to turn right here. Okay. And I'm like, I get it, it's all good, but like, you can't stop like that. You gotta, right. Right here. Like, yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. So, which lane were you in coming down? I was on the left lane, all inside lane, yeah. Right behind him, like not behind him, but like right. So he's in front of you. He's in front of me. Okay, he just randomly stops to like right here to make that turn. Okay, into the business or business? Yeah, he said he's gonna pick up his dad. Okay. And then he's following GPS and he's following the front right there. Okay. All right, you try to avoid him and flip the back, and you guys hit that. Yes, I try to avoid it. I immediately got like a second read like that. No car's coming, so I turn all the way right. And I just go, okay. What were you wearing your seatbelt? I was wearing your seatbelt. Yes.
So he asked you twice if you were wearing your seatbelt.
Mhm.
It's not true, is it?
Sir, no, it was not. And as you can see that night, I go back and I tell them exactly what happened. Because I'm going over it. Yes, I do wear my seatbelt. Yeah, and at times I do take it off. And when everything was happening fast, I had to go check on them. I was still buzzed from the accident. And then when I went over the whole thing, I remembered, and I go back and I tell them.
Okay, so you're still buzzed at this point following the accident.
Yes, sir.
All right, about seatbelts, why do we wear seatbelts?
Safety precautions.
Because if you don't wear one and you get in a wreck, you can get hurt or killed.
Yes, sir.
And in this particular wreck on July 21st, 2023, you may not have sustained what you would consider a serious injury, but you did sustain some injuries, did you not?
I did, sir.
Did you get it checked out at any hospital?
Not that I know of, sir. No, I go to the hospital. Probably like a couple weeks later, I at the substation, I cut my finger. I went to the hospital. I actually got
I'm not asking about that. I'm asking about this wreck. You don't know if you went to the hospital?
No, I don't believe I did. I don't.
You had some cuts on your arm from this wreck, right?
I did. Yes.
Cuts that were not there prior to this wreck.
That is correct, sir.
And those cuts were from the glass, your front windshield breaking.
Most likely, yes.
So you had injuries. Well, let me ask one more thing. Your airbags deployed. I saw that correct.
That is correct.
And so we had your airbags deployed. You did sustain an injury. This responding officer asked you if you wore your seatbelt. You say no. He asked you again. You say no. Do I have that all accurately?
He asked me if I had my seatbelt on at first, and I said yes. What did I say? No.
And you said yes. And then he asked you again. Said yes. You want me to play it again?
No, that's what I said. So I see it. And like I said, I went over the whole thing again. Once I remember, I'm like, you know what? I didn't. I took it off when I had to pick up my phone. And then I went and told him.
We'll get there. But let's watch the rest of this clip.
That's when he's showing me.
What?
Okay, so now he's asked you for a third time. Were you wearing your seatbelt? And you said
Yes. Like I said, I was adamant that I actually was wearing my seatbelt. So I'm looking at it, and I'm like, why is that? I'm like, I go back, and I'm remembering it. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's why I didn't have my seatbelt. And I went up, I'm like, you know what? I wasn't wearing it.
So I take some pictures of your injuries, and then I'm gonna use whatever's on that side of the intersection. No, I'll probably use the intersection. So whatever second ad, and then put changes drastically.
that vehicle that we see here at timestamp 4 minutes and 12 seconds on what I've pre-marked as plaintiff's exhibit 1. That's your squad car involved in the wreck on July 21st, 2023.
That is correct.
That's correct?
That is correct, sir.
You thinking 300? Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, sorry. I think needs to go complicated and stuff. I'll use 5300. This one I just use 53 and 52. I'm getting my city phone, take pictures, and then we'll go with you. So if you want to go to the hospital, then we can get together. So, we'll be right back.
All right, I'm going to pull up exhibit number 2. It's another clip from the officer, one of those responding officers' body cam footage. You ready?
Ready, sir.
Now, this is the same officer whose body cam footage we saw in the last deposition exhibit. It's just a separate clip. And what we're seeing here is him running you and the other driver, as we talked about earlier. Is that right?
Correct.
do an investigation on the driver that's open containers from the passenger. But he did have a passenger in the car, so that's no guarantee.
Okay.
Drink them, but I'm still gonna.
Yeah, let's just do it. Did he admit to driving?
Yeah, he said he was driving. He was in the left lane going this way. He has someone make the U-turn, so he slows down to make the U-turn. Next thing you know, it's like a hit behind.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of the same story that dude. All right. I have their IDs. If you want to go start your stuff, I'm going to finish up with the officer and get him out of here. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Mono.
They'll probably go write the ballot.
Why did he take a picture of you? Just to investigate?
It's part of the investigation.
He's taking pictures of the injuries to your arm?
Correct.
Anywhere else? No, sorry, anything. I think I hear it in my rib. Is this from it? Or is that old? Okay, old. Okay. And then in midsection? Okay.
Hey, and one thing.
Unless,
Yeah, so did have my seatbelt on. Dropped my phone over on Bruton. Took it off. Never put it back on.
okay. So at the accident, you didn't have it on.
I did not have that.
I didn't. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that things became less buzzed for you at this point because you came in and said no.
No, that is correct. I went over the whole thing. I'm thinking why I wasn't wearing it. I told him I did. I go back. I'm like, well, I dropped my phone. I had to pick it up. So, yes, sir.
Just tell the truth there.
Yeah, just
All right.
He says, just tell the truth, all right?
No, and I get it. As an officer, I would think the same thing. You give me a story, and then you come up to me and tell me again. It's happened to me. I've had from witnesses to complainants give me one, and they come back. You know what? I remember this is what happened.
As an officer, if you catch somebody not telling the truth and you're investigating a scene, that leads into their credibility as a whole, does it not?
It does, sir. Yes.
And if you catch them in one lie, you're less inclined to believe them about other representations they've made.
Yes, sir.
All right, Jonathan, what I got up here on the screen, I've marked as plaintiff's deposition exhibit number 3. By the way, these are all pre-marked and they tend to go out of order. So it's fine, arbitrary, just so you know.
Okay.
This is what I represent to you be a clip from that same responding officer's body cam footage.
Mm-hmm.
It's again a clip from a much longer. So I'm going to go ahead and play it.
On cameras, man. I guess we'll go with this one.
So you had an old camera in your vehicle.
There you go. Yeah. As you can see, that's not an Axum camera. That's the old school circular one, not the other one that looks like a spaceship.
And what is he looking at now?
Hey, he's looking at actually my footage from the vehicle, from my in-car video.
Sorry. Let's see. All right. I always forget that B now means brake. So yeah, that B means he's hitting the brake. So
So in the video, you've seen videos like this, right?
Correct, sir.
And the B that he's talking about, when it signals on there, B, that means you've activated the brake on your vehicle.
First time I've heard that. So so he's a A&I investigator, so he knows all the ins and outs about the investigation. It's the first time I've heard that. I didn't even know that they recorded whenever we hit the brake.
So he's at 60 when he's hitting the brake.
You're at 60 when you hit the brake. Did I hear that correctly?
That's what he's saying. Yes.
Accidentally during the time I'm using his 2256. But I don't think he 2256. All right.
And what does this officer appear to be doing right now at this point in the video of plaintiff's exhibit number 3?
From what I'm looking at, how fast was I going, and at what time I hit my brakes before hitting the vehicle.
Let's see if I can get the distance on this when I get back onto the computer. So I don't know if you got any storage yet. It's pretty much the same. He's going to a flock hit, which is stolen vehicles. He's coming down left lane. Armada is also in the left lane. Looking at his GPS is telling to make a U-turn here, going to the business. He keeps coming to every store. Doesn't get the way.
So I said, you signal trying to make a certain turn or something.
Well, of course, looking at that video, it's not.
Right.
But it's a blur on the computer. It's blurry, but once it comes to the
So this officer says that on the video, this other driver that was transporting my client, he was at a stop, according to this officer.
According to him, yes.
based on his review of the dash cam footage from your squad car.
Correct. That's his perspective from what he's looking at the video.
It's much clearer. Okay. So, but I'm gonna see how, because I see the brakes. So when he starts in the brakes, I could clearly see that car. So I'm gonna see what's the distance and see how far he is. Okay. And,
you already got your case number already?
No, yeah. So the case number is gonna be 131945-2023. Then I'll try to have that uploaded to that. The problem with this is if it goes to Central Garage and it can't get docked at Southeast, IEDs would have to come in and extract it. They're the only ones that can extract the legal food. So they don't work with me. So it might be a minute. So if it's not up, it's just gonna be till next week, and I'll figure it out. What? No, not yet. Not yet. Yeah. He's good to go to the hospital.
He's done with them.
I don't know if he's done yet. He's writing a statement. I'm done.
Once he's done with his statement, are you good with the officer?
Oh, yeah.
Right. And then I guess you control supervisor.
Who is this individual, the white guy that I'm waving my cursor over?
He's one of the sergeants. There's at any given time there's like 4, 5 sergeants at every station.
Is he one of your supervisors?
Not an immediate supervisor, but he is a sergeant at the station.
Okay.
He just happened to respond to that particular call.
And they refer to him as,
they're both sergeants.
what's
I don't know, sir.
okay. The gentleman that I'm waving my cursor over at 5 minutes and 31 seconds of deposition exhibit number 3. He referred to himself or confirmed that he was the controlling officer. What is that?
Controlling officer has to be somebody that's controlling the scene. Sergeant that's on scene.
You don't know? Are you guessing?
I'm actually guessing. Yeah, he is a sergeant in charge, so if he's on scene, he's controlling the scene.
Okay.
Okay, then I'll talk to him later.
The way I know it, it's just like, hey, he's a sergeant on scene. I've never heard a controlling officer. I just heard he's a sergeant on scene.
All right. Well, let's listen to what they have to say. Want to know?
He don't got a driver's license on him. Sits at home and blatantly lied multiple times. What? Blatantly lied to me multiple times. The officer. And he eventually told me the truth. He said he was wearing a seatbelt. I mean, I'm obviously not wearing it.
We always gonna live in.
It's way obvious. And I even showed him. I was like,
Why is it so obvious that you weren't wearing your seatbelt?
From what he showed me.
What?
From what he showed me?
What he showed you?
Yes. He was asking me, so when there's a collision, the seatbelt locks.
Mhm.
So he's pulling it and he's showing me. So I started thinking, I was wearing it. Why did it lock? So that's what I'm telling you. I went back, I started thinking about everything, how everything went on. Like, okay, I wasn't wearing it because I picked up my phone.
Yeah, but we can watch the video again if you'd like. But when you said that, you were sitting right next to the driver's side door. He was yanking on the seatbelt, showing it locked up, and you said, yes, I was wearing my seatbelt.
Because I was adamant. I was sure that I was wearing it. That was my answer.
Despite seeing it locked up like that.
Exactly. Yes, I was. I'm not going to tell you otherwise. I was looking at it, and that's what made me think, why was it locked? Why is he saying that I wasn't? I went over the whole thing, back on Bruton. When I turned on second, I'm like, what happened during that time? My phone fell. I had to pick it up.
Okay. Let's continue watching Exhibit 3.
thanks multiple times. I was like, yes. Started talking about wearing seatbelt. Yes. Wearing seatbelt. Yes. Eventually, I walked back over after being in the car because I wasn't wearing my seatbelt. So I don't know if somebody talked to him, but he lied to me multiple times, and he doesn't have a driver's license. So, I just told myself, man, just tell me the truth. I'd be like, we're not sure. I got the problem. Well, right now, the stories match up. The problem that I'm gonna have to figure out is so in L3.
So he says the stories match up. So you reported your side of the story to the responding officers, body cam were watching, and so did the driver of the other vehicle. That's your understanding, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to play again right there.
So in L3s, it gives the GPS.
What are the L3s?
The L3s. It has to be something with the old camera.
Right.
It's something like with a map. The map with, maybe it could be something with the old one. I
We'll
don't
find out. You don't know, though.
know.
We're going to restart this just so that we have continuity here in the conversation.
So I got the problem. Well, right now, the stories match up. The problem that I'm going to have to figure out is, so in L3s, it gives the GPS. He's traveling at 65 at one point. He starts hitting the brake at 60. I can clearly understand that shitty ass video, see brake lights. Yeah. I mean,
He's saying that on that shitty ass video, and when he says shitty ass video, he's referring to the video in your squad car.
Correct.
And what he's just heard him say on or in exhibit number 3 is that on the shitty ass video, he can clearly see brake lights on the vehicle that you ran into.
That is what he's saying. Yes.
see those lights. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna have to figure out what the GPS, what the distance is, to figure out.
And I know we're probably when the record is here. Let's see, when they take it over there, they can run it by southeast.
I was gonna download because I told him IUD. If it goes to the garage, IUDs can have. They do it once I can.
Well, I work heavy.
Oh, can they do the L3s now?
They come out and swap their chips. I'm going to see though if it's working.
It is working because.
If we take it by the record and go where it'll drop if I can.
Okay. Yeah. So.
If it doesn't, I'm going to make that happen.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because it used to be IED had to come out and take it out, but I guess they changed it. Okay.
But that was a card that we couldn't get power to really that out.
Okay.
So I'm trying to prevent calling out.
Yeah. Yeah. So Bolt driving down second. They trying to make a U-turn over here. He's coming down to a flop hit. His L3 has him at 60 when he starts to hit the brake, which I'm very certain is probably is at 60. Yeah.
Why would he say he's not certain it was 60? He's saying it's more than 60?
Objection.
Once again,
You can answer.
he's an officer. He's doing his job. Different perspective. Once again, I've been in calls. Officers say one thing. I'm like, sounds like BS. It's all due to their perspective. That's why as a team, we all get together. Everybody shares a story. Everybody, what they heard, what they said. There's an outcome to it.
You think, based on your recollection of that night, your 60 to 65 sound accurate?
It does sound accurate, sir.
That's a grading video, like I said, and I can see the lights. So I'm gonna have to see how far it is to do time and distance and figure it out. So he impacts him at like 31, and I didn't see nobody in the right lane. So it is. I mean, it is what it is.
I thought you said that it was okay to drive at the speed you were driving if everyone around you is driving that way. But he's saying there's nobody in the right-hand lane. There's not anyone around you.
Not at the point of impact, sir. That's why I was able to actually go around it.
You went around my client's vehicle?
I hit your vehicle. I was trying to get around it.
You're walking top the rest of the world.
So yeah, I just want to let you know. I'm like, and let me just mention to the guys, we're gonna figure out if you're wearing your seatbelt or not. So
I got my guys each night, so it's trying to build preparation.
yeah, I'm not gonna, but just let you know. Oh, all right. And I'm gonna go over talk to the. Okay, yeah. So we're good, I guess. And
All right. That's all for plaintiff's deposition exhibit number 3. I'm showing you plaintiff's deposition exhibit number 4. This was produced in the litigation and represented to be the dash cam footage from your vehicle in the moments, or let's say 30 seconds, but it's slowed down. The 30 seconds of the footage prior to the wreck. And it's actually a clip of the full footage, but this is the portion of your dash cam footage that shows the point of impact. Okay? Are we ready to play it?
Yes, sir.
And you're telling the jury in this case under oath that my client abruptly the driver of my client's vehicle abruptly slammed on his brakes.
From my perspective, yes.
From your perspective, what does that mean? What it is, right?
That is not what it is, what it is. That night, that afternoon actually, while I was driving, I saw the car, while I was driving, it suddenly stopped.
Well, did it suddenly stop, or from your perspective, it suddenly stopped?
My perspective, sir.
I'm asking about reality. Realistically, looking at everything, you're a cop, you investigate. Did he slam on his brakes or abruptly stop?
From looking at the video, it seems like he was stopping and he was turning.
His brake lights were illuminated in that video we just saw, were they not?
Yes.
And you told
And
the
he was
officers that he did not have any brake lights illuminated.
I didn't see them, sir. Until, like I said, I haven't seen any videos. I haven't seen anything till today.
Let's watch it one more time. There's a couple things I want to point out. I noticed that you're veering lanes. Is that because you were reaching down for your cell phone?
Not
I think it comes up here. Let's keep watching. I'll stop it when You begin to veer. Oh, there it is. You're over the yellow line at that point, right?
Objection, answer.
I can, it's fine. I'm reaching. And it's most likely that when I was trying to reach, I couldn't get it. I go back, I get back on it, and I'm trying to reach because I can't look down and miss. And once again, it was an accident. I'm saying at no point did I stop looking in front of me. So I'm not looking down because I'm trying to see. Again, did it work? Obviously not. I wouldn't be here. I caused an accident.
And hold on. That's where I'm waving my cursor. That is the vehicle that my client was sitting in, right?
That is correct.
Okay, how far away are we, do you think?
Probably 30, 25.
I think that's 30 yards.
Okay. Play a little bit more.
Let's go back. There is my client's vehicle, right?
Correct.
And the reason we know that's where it is because we see two lights on it, right?
Yeah, from this video, yes, sir.
How far away do you think we are at this point? How far away is your vehicle from the vehicle occupied by my client?
70 yards,
70 yards?
maybe. I go on once again.
You don't know. You would just defer to the investigating officer on that. And tell me, because we're watching this in real time with you. Tell me, does during this clip, from the 9-second mark of Exhibit 4 to the point of impact, I want you to tell me if it looks like my client is driving or if you would agree with me that my client's vehicle is at a full stop. All right?
My perspective, complete stop. I wouldn't say complete stop because it's turning. It's turning, so it's not at a complete stop. Complete stop would be someone that literally made a complete stop. So it's moving, hits the brakes, and as you're hitting the brakes, you're turning.
All right, so at less than a mile. So you're thinking my client's going less than a mile per hour. So they're turning or in the process of beginning to attempt to turn.
Probably about 5 miles an hour.
More or less at a complete stop, though, right? Because in that clip, even at beginning at 11, we see the brake lights illuminated throughout it. Do we not?
On this video, slow motion to pixel, yes, absolutely.
And we'll watch it one more time. Street lights, like the one we see here, and there's several of them, they don't have wheels, do they? Street lights don't have wheels. They're not moving. They're fixed in place, right? And the only thing that's moving is you. Everything else is stationary in this video, right? Do I have that right?
No. Like I said, yes, he's slowing down. And as you can see, the other car on the right wasn't stationary. She keeps on moving. Okay. But once again, like I said, and I get where you're going with this. You're doing a great job. That is your job. Like I said, take full responsibility. I was going over the speed limit. I caused an accident. That's why I'm here. If you want to go ahead, we can talk about the video, slow it down and all that. Absolutely. Once again, when they asked me about if I was wearing my seatbelt, yes. I said yes multiple times because I did have my seatbelt on. However, I took it off when I had to get my my phone.
All right. Last exhibit. Maybe I should put it up on here. Short break. It's last exhibit.
So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8, correct?
Yes.
The time is 12:45 p.m. We are now back on the record. May proceed, counsel.
All right. Jonathan, on the screen, I have what I've marked as plaintiff's deposition exhibit number 6. Counsel, here's a copy for you. And, you can watch the TV or here's an extra copy.
Thank you, sir.
Do you recognize this document?
It looks like it's the vehicle that I was driving.
All right. What is this document? What kind of report is this? Here in
It's a
exhibit.
crash report.
It's a crash report. You help compile a lot of these in your job, do you not?
To be honest, I try to avoid working crashes. I don't like to work crashing.
Okay, try to fill one out, right?
I do not.
You know what everything in here signifies, right? In terms of the codes and what the boxes signify.
That is correct, sir.
So who is unit number 1, according to this crash report?
Unit number 1. It's been such a long time. I'll be lying if I told you I remember.
How about this? There's DLID type 1. And then I see your name listed right there. Is that unit number 1?
Yeah, so unit number 1, yeah, that would be me.
Right. And who is unit number 2?
That's them, the person that got hit.
Driver of that vehicle was Roman Alcantar, and his passenger was my client. Accurate?
That is correct, sir.
All right. Let's flip on over to, well, I'm skipping ahead. At the very top, we see crash date. Sorry, I have a hole punch in there, but trust me, it says crash date. And we have July 21st, 2023, right?
Correct, sir.
Fair to say that this is the crash report compiled in connection with the wreck that we've been talking about here today.
Yes, sir.
Okay, flip on over to the second page. Okay, you went to Baylor University Medical Center that night.
After I took the I had to do the drug test. I believe I did go to the hospital.
Okay, so you do remember.
Yes. Now
Okay.
I do remember. Yes, sir. I don't.
And if I'm looking at this report and I'm trying to determine, or at least ask the investigating officer who they believe to be at fault, what section of this report would I look at?
Well, if you're looking at the report, the officer obviously sided with me.
He obviously sided with you.
No, he obviously thought I was at fault. It was me.
And what for in particular?
The fact that, from my understanding, he put me as Unit 1.
Well, yeah, we see unit one, number one. We would look down here at factors and conditions if we were looking to determine who was at fault, right? At least according to the investigating officer. And he cited two different contributing factors. What are contributing factors?
Where's it at? 120 and...
No, unit one, and that we've established that's you, right?
Correct.
And he has two contributing factors listed in here in this.
Yeah, factors that would add up to basically the accident happening.
What is contributing factor number 20?
On top of it, I wouldn't remember right now. I would need to look at the list.
And you wouldn't know what contributing factor number 61 is either?
Absolutely not, sir.
Do you know the investigating officer, James Ketelidis, right?
Is
Here, down at the bottom. Do you know James Ketelidis?
No, I don't. Is that the guy that interviewed me? There's over 1,800 officers for Dallas PD. I only know the people that I work with, or that I've actually worked with in the past.
So have you ever filled out one of these investigators' narratives before?
Yes, sir. I have.
In the investigator's narrative, that's what the investigating officer is saying what happened based on that investigator's investigation of the crash site and all evidence. Accurate?
That is correct.
Body-worn camera and photos were uploaded to evidence.com, number 23-021-4500. In-car L3 camera, so we talked about L3s before, L3 camera, was saved and tagged. Unit number 1, who is you, right?
Correct, sir.
Is a marked Dallas police squad and was traveling northbound on the 4300th block, South 2nd Avenue in the left lane. Unit number 2, that's the vehicle that was occupied by my client, right?
Correct.
Was traveling in front of unit number 1 in the left lane and was slowing down to a stop to make a U-turn onto southbound 5400 South 2nd Avenue. Unit number 1 told IO, is that investigating officer? IO?
Yes, sir.
That he had dropped his cell phone on the floor and he had to take his seatbelt off to retrieve the phone. This confirmed L3 video footage. What does he mean by that, you think?
So, what it says there was gone from what you saw on the camera.
Confirmed by. You think he accidentally didn't include this was confirmed by L3 video footage?
Well, confirmed. Yes. Well, once again, he saw the video. He saw what he saw. His perspective. He's doing the investigation, and he wrote it down. So that's what he put down.
Investigating officer can observe Unit 2 brake lights fully illuminated for a total of approximately 13 seconds prior to impact. Did I read that correctly?
That's what it's there.
So, do you agree with that statement?
That's what he got from the investigation. Once again, I can only control so much. That's the investigating part. That's what he put down. I don't see him lying. He's doing his job.
The first 6 seconds, Unit 1 has no braking input while traveling between 60 and 65 miles per hour, totaling a minimum of 527 feet. without any brakes. First 6 seconds of that 13, you have no brake input, and you're traveling at 60 to 65 miles per hour for at least the distance of 527 feet.
Correct.
Unit number 1 collided front left to the back right of unit number 2. Based on speed prior to impact and driver inattention of unit number 1, the fact that unit 2 did not have a turn signal on is not applicable for this accident. So, this last sentence, let's talk about that. As part of investigated automobile wrecks before, right?
That is correct.
You've created crash reports before, right?
That is correct.
And you know the traffic laws.
The reason why I say that I avoid crashes is because I know some, not all. I'm not an expert in the matter. So that's the reason why I'm going to other units, like being proactive, like, going to the gang unit. No, I am not an expert when it comes to crashes.
When's the last time you filled out a crash report?
You can go check my records. Probably years.
So you don't really know the traffic laws?
I do know.
Objection, you can answer.
Yeah. Like I said, I know some of the traffic laws, and then some of them I have to go back.
All right. You think this officer knows the traffic laws better than you?
Oh, yes, absolutely. That's why he's there.
And we heard a lot about, he didn't have a turn signal on. This officer here, did I read this correctly? He says that the absence of a turn signal is not applicable to this wreck.
That's what he's saying.
You agree?
If that's what he's saying, he's the expert on it.
You disagree with anything in this narrative or the crash report?
Once again, no. And again, I wasn't a crash. They gave me a statement. I told my statement from exactly how I felt, what I saw, and my perspective of the whole thing. He went there, he did the investigation, asked their part, my part, and then we're here.
If you were the responding officer to this wreck, let's place someone in your place. If it was two civilian vehicles, if you were the officer responding to this wreck site, who would you have faulted for the wreck?
And once again, and just so you know, this is the way we're taught. So, since it's a Dallas PD vehicle, there has to be someone investigating for a Dallas PD vehicle or squad car. When it comes to civilian on civilian, we do not state who's at fault. This is a totally different narrative from the one I would write. Very similar, but he's giving you from his investigative point, his job, right? What we do is I get unit 1 and I get unit 2. I give the story. That report is given to the insurance. The insurance does they do their own investigation, and then they decide who's at fault. And that's exactly what we have to tell the people that are involved in a collision or in a crash, an accident.
Who would you assign contributing factors to that?
So the contributing factors, like I said, it all depends. If they tell me the speed they were going to, I would give the speed. If I would say there's no stop sign, I would put there's no stop sign.
I asked about this wreck, and who of the two drivers put somebody else in the position you were in that night? Who would you have assigned the contributing factors to?
Objection.
Well, once again, I wasn't the investigating officer. I was one of the people involved.
All right, that's enough of an answer for me. That's the witness.
I just have a few questions for you, Officer Perez.
Mhm.
How long have you been with DPD?
About 5.5 years.
And you mentioned that at the time of this accident, you were in a specialized unit. Is that correct?
That is correct, ma'am.
What unit was that?
CRT deployment is a
What-
proactive team.
What does CRT stand for?
A crime response team.
Are you currently in a specialized unit?
I am, ma'am.
What unit is that?
It's the gang unit, ma'am.
And I see you're wearing a hoodie today for your deposition. Why is that?
I'm in a covert capacity right now. Basically, I was attached to a task force, and my current responsibility is to conduct an investigation on the Venezuelan gang, Tren TDA.
And I might ask you to spell that. Could you spell that for me?
Tren
Yes.
Yeah. It's the first word, Tren, Tren. Second word, De. Aragua, last word, Aragua.
Now, you mentioned that immediately after the accident, you felt buzzed. Can you explain what that means?
Correct. So, as you saw, I was involved in an accident. The airbags were deployed. I hit my airbag. Okay. First of all, everything's hurting. My ribs are hurting. My head hit the airbag. And I know I'm involved in an accident. I have to go check on the people involved, which were the person that I hit or the people that I hit. And my head is my mind is just pumping. I don't know if I'm explaining correctly, if you understand me, but that's what I'm saying. I was buzzed.
Was it fair to say there's an adrenaline rush?
Adrenaline rush with a sort of concussion, you could say. Yes.
Now, you said you were, one of your jobs was to speak to the individuals involved in the accident. The driver of the vehicle was a male, correct?
Correct.
His was a female, correct?
Correct. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was mom or aunt, mom.
Other than basic questions, did you have any interaction with her?
No, I didn't. The interaction I had was I asked her if she was good and if she needed an ambulance. That was it.
Now, after a DPD officer is in a car accident, there is certain protocol you have to follow, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, what is that protocol?
After an accident, well, first of all, you have to go tell dispatch you were involved in an accident. If there is a need of medical attention or an ambulance, get an ambulance. And for the people that get there, they have to they have to secure the scene. And again, investigators get there. They get statements from the perspective of whoever.
In addition to notifying dispatch, do you have to notify a supervisor?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So it was your testimony that immediately before the accident, you were using the Zello app. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Immediately before the accident, were you texting?
No, I was not.
Immediately before the accident, were you looking at GPS?
GPS, no.
Immediately before the accident, were you looking at your phone?
No.
Okay.
I was trying to get my phone.
Okay. After the accident, how did you contact a supervisor?
Put it over the air. So whenever you're involved in an accident, you put it over the air, and everybody responds code 3. Response, lights and sirens. Everybody gets there, and of course, it's automatic that a supervisor is going to get there, regardless of whether you ask for one. All you have to say is that you were involved in an accident, and as you saw, I got 2 sergeants on scene on video.
Did you use your cell phone to call anyone?
I calls, like I said, I calls people asking me if I was okay. They heard that I was in an accident on the radio. And it's like that I called my sergeant, I would say. I said, no, I don't.
We saw a text conversation in the last set of emojis. Council represented were laughing emojis. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Was that a conversation that, if you recall, went on before the accident, before or after?
No, that was before.
And what, before, do you mean immediately before or?
No, just during my shift. My shift. I'm like, again, yes, I'm a police officer, but I'm like any other person. If when I've got a call, or let's say I get someone to jail, or if anything, waiting in the car, I'll get on my phone. I'll talk to I'll either talk to my brother, mom, a friend, or like it doesn't matter. I'm a person just like everybody else.
And what I want to nail down is, did you find anything at all funny about this accident?
Absolutely not. Is that where? Oh, my bad. Is that where you were trying to go with that?
That wasn't my angle, but I saw it when
Holy
she was asking.
shit! Oh, wow.
It's that.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Now I'm getting it. Okay.
Officer Chang, I don't have any additional questions for Perez. I don't have any additional questions for you. Thank you.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. No. And
Was not my angle anyway. So
no, but no, man, you're good at your job, bro. You do what you do, man. And it is your job, nothing personal. But
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
thanks.
Is reserve and 10 days is still okay for you?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
I don't need a written sign.
The time is 1:03 p.m. We are now off the record.
yeah. Good job, bro.
As of the time this documentary was written, the civil lawsuit filed on behalf of Sandy Gannum remains active, and no final judgment or publicly confirmed settlement figure appears in available records. What is confirmed is that Dallas PD internally disciplined Officer Perez Change following the incident, issuing him 3 disciplinary points on a 4-point scale, where 4 results in loss of driving privileges. He was temporarily removed from driving status, required to ride as a passenger, and made to sign documentation acknowledging the violations. He remained employed by the Dallas Police Department, and as of this deposition had been reassigned to a covert gang unit investigating the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. No public statement from the city of Dallas regarding the lawsuit appears in available records. What this deposition ultimately produces is a document, and that word is worth sitting with, because a document is what survives. The shifting accounts, the training admissions, the seatbelt denials caught on 3 separate body cam exchanges, the 527 feet of zero braking input, the phone open to a text thread he cannot explain, all of it is now sworn testimony attached to a civil case that is still moving through the courts. Accountability in cases like this rarely arrives loudly. It arrives through exactly this kind of proceeding, one question at a time, one admission at a time, until the record speaks for itself. If you have thoughts on what you just watched, drop them in the comments below, because this is the kind of case where the details matter and the conversation is worth having.